So today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and maybe one of the most misunderstood names for God in the Qur'an, Ar-Raḥmān. It's a name you hear all the time, but its real meaning? Well, it's kind of hidden in plain sight, right inside the word itself. Let's dig in and uncover it.
But first, just take a second. When you hear the word mercy or compassion, what pops into your head? Is it, forgiveness? Maybe kindness? Pity? Whatever it is, just hold on to that idea, because we're about to see how this one Arabic word completely blows that definition wide open.
And think about this for a second. Out of all the ways God could have introduced himself as the creator, the king, the judge, this is the one he leads with. It's like it's setting up mercy as the main lens, the default setting that we're supposed to understand everything else through.
So yeah, this isn't just about simple kindness. The way the Quran presents it, this mercy is the very force that kicks off and sustains all of existence. It's a concept so huge, our everyday idea of mercy just doesn't cut it. We need a totally new way to look at it. And to really get our heads around this, we have to go right to the source, the linguistic root of the word. And trust me, this is where it all just clicks into place.
The name Ar-Raḥmān comes from this three-letter root, R-H-M. Now get this, that is the exact same root for the Arabic word for a mother's womb, rahim. And that's not some random coincidence, it's the whole key. It tells us that this mercy isn't just a passive feeling, no, it's an active force. It's about completely enclosing something, protecting it, and sustaining it.
Okay, so let's really unpack this womb analogy, because it's brilliant. First, a baby in the womb doesn't ask for anything it needs, right? It just gets it. Second, that baby hasn't done a single thing to earn its keep. Its provision has nothing to do with merit. And third, it's just completely, totally, and unconditionally sustained. That right there is the model for the mercy of Ar-Raḥmān, just scaled up to cover everything in existence.
And right away, this analogy just slams home why this kind of mercy is fundamentally different from anything a human being can offer. I mean, the scale is just on a completely different planet.
But wait, the language itself gives us another huge clue. See, in Arabic, the patterns of words carry their own meaning. And the pattern used for Rahman, fa'alan, is a special one. It's used for adjectives that are just overflowing and intense. Think of the words for thirsty or angry. They use this pattern to show a state that totally consumes you. So Ar-Raḥmān doesn't just mean merciful. It means overflowing with uncontainable, infinite mercy.
So this really paints a clear picture, right? Our human mercy runs out. It gets tired. It has limits. And a lot of the time, it depends on how we're feeling that day. But this divine, Rahmanic mercy, it's like the rain. It falls everywhere, on everyone, without any conditions. It never gets tired, and it doesn't check to see who deserves it first. It just is. That level of mercy, well, it simply can't belong to any created being.
And this also helps us clear up a common point of confusion, the difference between Ar-Raḥmān and another famous name, Ar-Raḥīm. They come from the same root, but they work differently. Ar-Raḥmān is universal. It's for absolutely all creation, with no strings attached. This is the mercy that gets you into the world in the first place. Ar-Raḥīm, on the other hand, is a responsive mercy. It's for those who engage, who build a relationship, and it's especially tied to the hereafter. So you can think of it like this. Raḥmān gives the gift of life, and Raḥīm nurtures it.
Okay, so where do we actually see this idea playing out? Well, it's literally woven into the fabric of the Quran, and if you look closely, into our reality too.
If you just look at the text itself, the name Ar-Raḥmān shows up 57 times, and that's a lot. It's constantly reinforcing this idea of boundless, unconditional mercy. But honestly, that number doesn't even begin to tell the whole story. Because what is truly staggering is this. 113 out of the Quran's 114 chapters, they all start with the same exact phrase. In the name of God, Ar-Raḥmān, Ar-Raḥīm. This means that before you get almost any other message, you're reminded that the entire framework, the entire conversation, is happening under the umbrella of mercy. It's the non-negotiable default set. To put it in today's terms, you could think of it like this. Ar-Raḥmān is the free ticket you were given to enter the theme park of life. It's the unearned capital, the startup funds you were given at birth. It explains why you exist even though you never asked to, and it's why the systems of the universe, like the sun and the rain, sustain everyone, believers and non-believers alike.
All right, but here's where it gets really fascinating. A twist. You'd think an idea this positive would be a total slam dunk, right? Everyone would embrace it. But historically, it was actually a huge point of conflict.
I mean,
Seriously, why would you object to that? It sounds amazing. But the early opponents of the Prophet Muhammad in Mecca, they were okay with the name Allah, but they explicitly, forcefully rejected the name Ar-Raḥmān. Why?
And here's why. The name Allah could feel kind of distant, maybe a bit abstract, you know? But Ar-Raḥmān, this all-encompassing, sustaining, womb-like mercy, that implies a radical closeness. It means God is intimately involved in every second of your existence. And if you're constantly being enclosed and sustained by mercy, it means you're not abandoned. And if you're not abandoned, well, that means you're responsible for the gift you've been given. They weren't rejecting the mercy, they were rejecting the accountability that comes with that kind of intimate relationship.
All right, so let's bring this all together. What does really internalizing this concept of Ar-Raḥmān actually mean for how we live our lives right here, right now?
You know, when you really live with this awareness, it changes everything. If every single person got the same unearned ticket into this life, how can you dehumanize them? You can't. You can't look at anyone and believe they are fundamentally beyond mercy. It also makes you less arrogant because you realize your own existence is a gift you never earned. And it makes you less despairing because you know your core value was established long before you ever made a mistake.
And this, right here, is the bottom line. Understanding Ar-Raḥmān means you can never ever truly say, I wasn't given a chance. Why not? Because your very existence is the chance. That's the unearned capital. That's the opportunity you were given from the very start.
So if we had to boil this entire vast concept down to a single sentence, it might be this one. Rahman is God saying to every one of us, I surrounded you with mercy before you ever asked to exist. And just letting that one thought sink in, well, that might just change everything.